It's a Tuesday morning. We're here with you, day number 17 of the month of January. My name is Richie B.
Your surely did your hit.
And I think that rhythm is called the Life Afrobeat, right? Yeah, more and more Jamaican artists are actually jumping on the Afrobeats bandwagon. Don't number Barrington leave in that lot.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, he says he's sticking to reggae and some elements of dance hall. Many producers are approaching him and artists want him to collaborate on Afrobeat rhythms, but he's staying away from that. All right, that's his viewpoint. Nonetheless, here's one set of Jamaicans who have definitely capitalized on the Afrobeat wave. Welcome, good morning to you. This is Top of the Bridge Up and Go, Bridge 99 FM. We're here with you until 10 o'clock this morning. And it's time for
WTF. What the fact? Alright, so the Incredible Hulk was originally, we know him green, you know.
Yeah.
He was originally supposed to be grey. Yeah. So here we go on. It's a very interesting story. So Marvel's Incredible Hulk is just as well known for his green body as he is for his testy temperament. However, it turns out that he was supposed to be a different, less monstrous color. Originally, comic book writer Stan Lee and the comic book artist Jack Kirby intended the Hulk to be grey. Now, according to Gizmodo, who explained that the color was very much a rip-off basically of Mr. Hyde, but things just never go as planned. You know it go. What happened was that the printing press kept having trouble with the Hulk's color, and he kept coming out green. So, because of this, the character only popped up in the first few issues as a furious grey character.
Oh,
really?
So buck-ups.
But guess what? The green work, you know.
Yeah, it's in our DNA, you know. Yeah, okay, so Hulk
no plans to change it.
Nah, too late. I don't think the fans would
revised Hulk.
Yeah.
Not gonna work.
Them wouldn't like that.
It will. Definitely.
Yeah, the green it there.
The green the thing there.
All right. Hold on. You're talking politics, are you?
Yeah, I wonder. In these times of careful. Hulk, talk about. Yeah, man, Hulk, talk about.
All right. Are you seeing green? Or orange, or what color are you seeing? All right, that's an interesting story indeed. Incredible Hulk was originally supposed to be gray.
Yeah.
But turns out it's green, and we have been loving it for a long time.
A long time.
As Green Hulk.
Yeah.
All right. That's WTF.
What the fact?
That's what we're going to do right now.
Yeah, man. So again, you know, Richie can't basically say we bust a story, yeah? You know what I mean? When it did just drop, it was like a little rumor out there.
Right.
But it's official.
Yep.
That we can call Alkaline.
We did it in under a minute of it being made public.
Yeah, I say
yep.
Humble brag, you know, I think the Richie. But yeah, you know, see me, we can call Alkaline a model. I don't know if he would want to call himself that. Alright, let me fix out the argument. Alkaline, the Givenchy model. So a little more sophisticated. Well, the champion boy Alkaline has officially been announced as the face of Matthew M. Williams' first dedicated menswear collection in a global campaign. Now, this endeavor will see Alkaline becoming the first dancehall artist to undertake such a campaign and the first for the fashion house. Now, according to a release, the Givenchy Spring-Summer 2023 men's global advertising campaign will continue to explore the tension and contrast between Givenchy's tailoring heritage and the urban aesthetic Matthew M. Williams has established for the house. There is a deep connection between Givenchy and the actors, musicians, and athletes who wear its clothes, and I immediately felt that kind of connection with Alkaline. When something's right, you can just feel it. He inspires me both as an artist and as a human being. So for this campaign, I wanted to keep the focus on who he is and the very natural, authentic way he wears clothing, which is exactly my intention as a designer, stated Givenchy's creative director Matthew M. Williams. So as we know, last week, photos of Alkaline from the French fashion houses SS22 and SS23 campaign surfaced online, showcasing a different side of the suave DJ, and it's a good look.
Definitely. Congratulations to you, Alkaline.
Yeah.
Can I just add one thing to that story?
What?
It has now been made, a few of us actually happen to know that Alkaline will be taking new rules to Africa, to Europe, and the United States.
All right.
That is a part of his plan for 2023.
And that's possible.
Dayuta na joke.
Yeah, man. Big up yourself.
Yeah. Big up Alkaline.
Yeah, man.
All right, so I'm going to be talking about an artist, a Jamaican artist, who actually entered the British, the UK singles chart prior to now with songs like a collaboration with Melissa Steele, Kisses for Breakfast, which peaked at number 10 in 2014. You're wondering which artist we're talking about, who did a song with Aluna George called I'm In Control, that peaked at number 39 in 2016. This same Jamaican artist had a song entitled Naughty Boy with Kyla, and that was in 2016 as well. Should Have Been Me, peaked at number 61 in 2016. He also had Gorilla's Saturn Barbs, which peaked at number 87 in 2017. Frida's Two Cups with Tory Lanez peaked at number 55 in the year 2019. And the same Jamaican artist also had a song with Georgia Smith entitled Come Over, which peaked at number 35 in 2020. Okay? Now, in 2022, it is now official that he has once again debuted on the UK singles chart with a song entitled, now this is the giveaway, We Can't Done, featuring Drake. Who are we talking about?
Popcorn.
Popcorn
Unruly
himself,
Boss.
Mr.
Okay.
Unruly Boss.
Okay.
Andre Sutherland
Well then.
is back in the UK singles chart. The song was released on January 6th, and it opened at number 61 on the UK chart. And I expect that it's going to climb several places up that chart. It was produced by Congolese-born producer Tresor and Batundi, who previously teamed up with Drake's Fountains with Thames. And We Can't Done features the Canadian rapper's much improved Jamaican accent, of course. We've been talking about that as he laid down a mellow hook while Popcorn drives the track with two colorful verses. Let us give him a nice big round of applause. Well done. And wow, we haven't had a number one song by a Jamaican on the British, the UK singles chart in a while. Hoping that day will come soon. Popcorn, good luck as you continue to climb.
Yeah.
Hopefully with We Can Done.
That's right.
On that note, we wrap up.
Update.
Right now, it's time for the proverb of the day.
Make sleeping dogs lie. Make sleeping dogs lie.
Okay, short and to the point.
I think I heard this one before.
Make sleeping
Yeah, man, I
dogs
heard this one.
lie.
Yeah, man, I hear that one already, man.
Yeah, don't disturb them.
Yeah, man, no trouble them.
Yeah, because you could be begging for trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what
that's
it
it
really
mean.
means, don't stir up trouble.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, that makes sense.
So the proverb is short and the meaning is also short.
I like it.
Make sleeping dogs lie. Don't stir up trouble.
I agree.
Yeah. Take that with you as you make it through the day today. The 17th?
Already?
Yeah, 17th of January.
Oh, my Lord.
I got a message here, a little shout out before we go to the pet peeve, which comes up. Well, as a matter of fact, let's do the pet peeve and then we get that together, all right?
No problem.
Who's got the pet peeve? One of our Bridge Nation? Yeah, let's find it.
Yeah, pet peeve of mine is going to the ATM/ABM and seeing two units, one filled with people, and then, you know, by curiosity, you go over to the empty one and check it. When you check it, it's actually working, and everybody join the same line. I wait. Big pet peeve, you know?
Yeah. But now, like, in general, any from here ATM, I just agree at the same time. There's so many annoyances around ATMs in Jamaica. So if I'm say ATM, I don't even hear the rest of it. But that one kind of weird. So what, is the people that never get no directives that the next one will work? Because if they did, then definitely that's annoying. It's just a purpose to mess up my idea.
So a lot of people in one line.
Yeah, but they could be unaware. Or it can. Let me help out the people who will be annoying. It could be that, you know, one can deposit, you know, then go one ATM you can deposit and the other one orders for withdrawal. So it could be a myriad of things.
Okay.
No one say people annoying just like that.
No, it can be a couple of things.
Yeah, man.
Because sometimes, you know, those machines, they eventually just come online. I mean, you look at, you know, you go next door and, you know, it is telling you definitely that, you know, it's out of service.
Yeah.
Right? And
yeah, true.
For whatever reason, because I have basically done that already, meaning, you know, see the machine next door not working, and like minutes after.
That's that.
Yeah, man.
my
Minutes after.
an addition to that pet peeve would just be like if the machine at the bank itself now work. So I'd be like, so why you there? That's my thing, like, oh, ATM at the headquarters, not fair work. That bother me more than an ATM on the road.
That would be a bother to me, you know. The bother to me is when somebody in there.
Yeah, man, we know that one, there, man.
Yeah.
Remember that bother use the machine?
On and off.
Brother,
me never use the machine, you know.
Sometimes I wonder, it really have me thinking sometimes, Richie.
What are they doing?
You see with this whole thing with this money thing.
Yeah, me not going there.
Richie, what can you do on Shelz? What you are doing a machine for all half
me rather go a country. Go drive.
There's a whole heap of pet peeves we get about
but the ATM is a trigger, man. Trust me.
Listen, me think personally for me think you have people who just spread up them bed and things in the machine.
Yo, hardly calm down. Hey, Cavell, pass the water. So you tip something out.
Bring all them
blood
sofa.
pressure go up. Hey.
No, man. No, I want to touch on something right now.
Hey, you know what I'm wondering though?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the ATMs in Israel or even Jerusalem for that matter. Like Israel or Jerusalem.
I see where you're going.
I'm wondering if they have that same problem in those places. I'm just wondering. All right. I want to thank the member of the Virgin Nation for putting that pet peeve forward. Now it's time for our first major interview of the morning. We note that recently the Medical Officer of Health for Hanover, Dr. Kaushal Singh, implored residents and visitors to the parish not to drop their guard and to continue to protect themselves against COVID-19. I can also quote from a report that we saw in relation to Hanover, the Hanover Municipal Corporation on Thursday, January 12. Dr. Singh noted that the parish reported only one active COVID-19 case in December. However, there is no room for complacency, he said, particularly with the emergence of a new subvariant out of last year. This morning, we have the Director of Family Health Services in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Dr. Melody Ennis, who is going to give us an update on the COVID-19 situation here in Jamaica. Good morning. I don't think it's too late to say Happy New Year, Dr. Ennis.
Good morning. It is indeed not, and it is going to be a Happy New Year. So Happy New Year to you and your listeners.
Thank you. We like how you speak it into being.
Yes, right.
All right. Wonderful to have you again. And, of course, COVID, as the minister had said some time ago, COVID's still a keep. And even in 2023, it's of concern to all of us, Dr. Ennis. Wouldn't you agree?
It is of concern, and as long as it continues to spread from person to person, then we are going to get those variants forming. Mm-hmm. That is just how viruses behave in general. So we can expect to see these variants. Now, remember that when they develop, they can either affect transmission, they can affect severity of illness. So far, the variants that have been formed are affecting transmissibility. So this one that everybody is talking about, the XBB and the XBB 1.5, certainly are the most transmissible of all the variants, and these are from Omicron. Remember when Omicron came on the scene last year?
Yes.
So these are the most transmissible forms, which simply means that if I have it, you can get it so much easier from me, and I can spread it to so many more persons. So it is important, as Dr. Singh said out of Hanover, there is no time for us to let our guards down or be complacent. It simply means that I must continue to wear my mask, you must wear yours. I must continue to hand wash and hand sanitize, you must do that too. And we are to, yes, we have to stay away from each other. A little bit of physical distance is important.
Yeah. Now, Dr. Ennis, you kind of touched on a point what I want to bring up because personally, your boy Shelz, I feel bad even telling her this in a Richie. I'm not going to tell a line of Dr. Ennis. You don't know, we see all going in at the street, you know, some friend them, everybody enjoy themselves. And I have to admit that I've gotten a little complacent, you know, I don't know, but for me, in my mind, I'm just saying, you know, simply just, as long as I wash man, I'm good. Is that a safe way to go forward? Just say, as long as I wash man, me all right, man, I'm good, man. Look at sanitizer here. Is that enough?
you're young, so you might bounce back quick. You might get it, and you have the sniffles, and you're down for a day or two.
Right.
But guess what? The older persons, and I know you have older people around
That's
you.
right.
I'm not even going to speak to Richie B if he's one of those, but I'm just saying that we have older persons around, and when they get it, they don't bounce back so quick.
Yeah, that's true.
They are the ones that get this severe, and especially if they have any underlying condition, it makes it worse. So they have the diabetes, and they get it, the diabetes get out of control, and you know what happens with that. The hypertension, it gets out of control, and sometimes it gets so bad that they die. So it really is on all of us to assess our risk, look at our spaces that we're in, look if we are vulnerable, and even if we think we're not, be mindful of the older persons we may have at home or those that we may come in contact with.
True.
Straight up, Doc, you think it is still appropriate to be wearing masks at this time?
I think so. And as I said, we have to assess our personal risk.
Yes.
So if you are in a situation where you're unsure, you're in a situation with many persons, and you are unsure, then put it on. I mean, you remove it to take a picture or two, but you put it on back. You keep it on because it will protect you. And we just have to recall also that we're in the flu season. So persons are going to be getting the sniffles. And it may be flu, it may be COVID, but both these conditions are deadly.
Definitely. In the intro, I did mention what Dr. Kausal Singh said. And happily, but also surprisingly, he mentioned that it was just one case that was discovered in December of last year. Is that the kind of numbers that we're seeing in other parishes, or are there some parishes that are of more concern?
Some parishes are of more concern, and our positivity rate was going up. Not anywhere where we had it last year, but still climbing, and that is a little bit concerning. We also are seeing more cases. What we're not seeing as yet is the hospitalizations. Of course, we're thankful for that. But with the increased spread and the possibility of many more persons contracting the illness, then we know that over time we may see an increase in hospitalization and even death. So now that we have the opportunity to stem it, we should. We don't want to get back to the point where our hospitals are overrun and indeed people are dying. So if, prevention better than cure, remember? Yeah. So if we can prevent ourselves from getting ill, taking all the measures, then that is what we need to do. So what we do, we hand sanitize, we hand wash, we physical distance, and we get vaccinated.
And that is where I wanted to go, Dr. Ennis. What can you tell us about the current vaccination programs by the Ministry of Health across Jamaica?
So we continue to administer the vaccines. We have the Pfizer, Sinopharm, and Johnson & Johnson. So those are the three vaccines we're offering at this time, and they can be had at our health centers across the island. So we have now integrated the administering of the vaccines in the routine operations of our health centers. So once you go into the health center, you can go online. You must go online just to be sure which are the clinics offering the vaccine, www.moh.gov.jm. And, of course, you go to vaccination resources, and you'll see the listing. It's also on our social media pages, the facilities that are offering the vaccines at this time.
And, of course, while we monitor and try to govern our own space here in Jamaica, I'm sure that as a ministry, you'll make sure that you monitor what's happening all over the world as well at the same time. Doc?
Of course. So we look at what is happening globally, and we adjust accordingly. But more importantly, we look at what is happening here in country, and that helps us to guide the decisions that we make.
Right. Doc, I thank you once again, and we wish you all the best. Kind regards, okay? Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, all the
Have
best.
a good one.
Wonderful.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Melody Ennis, of course, is the Director of Family Health Services in the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Always a pleasure talking with her.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to the telephone lines for the first time this morning and see if we can find a winner. Good morning. Welcome to the Secret Sound game.
Morning, Father Richie. Morning, Shelz.
Morning.
Romy. Morning.
How are you doing, son?
Romy.
Who's calling? Who's this?
Adrian from St. Elizabeth.
All right, Adrian.
Big up, Adrian.
Good to hear from you, man. You have the answer to our little quiz here?
Well, yeah, I think I have it. I'll try.
All right.
Man.
We want you to win.
All right.
What's your answer?
I think it's a blue whale.
A blue whale.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Jojo, they said she gonna see you at the end. Remember, man. She celebrate some anniversary. That was a WhatsApp call. So well, Adrian, you know the thing. We don't know what kind of sound whale make, but I think it come close to. Good try.
Thanks for trying, Adrian. Let's go over to the telephone line now. 876-676-4996. I tell you, we get some crazy answers.
Yeah.
Let's see if this one will be as crazy, less crazy, or crazier. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
Wonderful. Who is calling?
My name is Winston. I'm calling from St. Anne.
All right,
Winston.
Winston. Are you in Ocho St. Anne's Bay, Brownstown?
I'm in Ocho
Ocho Rios.
Yeah.
Clemente Walk area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to hear from you, Winston. Now, you've heard the sound, or do you want to hear the sound again?
I think that sound is coming out of the rock in Green Grotto.
Oh.
Yeah, man.
You mean in the caves?
Yeah, man, true.
Huh?
In the caves?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Yeah, man. Jojo did, after she go see, she did go visit. Yeah, man, true. Yeah, she go visit the cave. A real thing.
Winston,
Yes.
you know how many people have tried and never came up with that answer before?
Real talk.
Man, did you get help in coming up with that answer, Winston?
No, sir.
You figured it out on your own.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you're a senior citizen. I have to be respectful. But let me tell you something. When you call me on a Tuesday morning and you give me an answer like that, after we've been searching for so long to find a winner,
That's right.
Winston!
Yes.
Jono Winston.
That Winston.
At that Winston. Yeah. Jono Winston.
Sorry, Winnie. I'm going to call you Winnie instead of Winston. Sure, it's having a meaning. No.
John.
No harm meant. Whew. Let me just catch my breath, please.
Imagine Winston get up all.
Yo, Winston say, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Let me figure collect it.
Let's go to the next. Let's go to the next call right now. Good morning, you're on the air. Hello.
Richie B, you're wicked.
Oh, God have mercy. I apologize.
You're wicked, Richie B. Suppose the man heart did we.
No. Watch me, you. Morning, Talis.
Good morning.
What's up? Well, you have the answer?
I think so.
Okay.
Is it someone tap dancing?
Someone tap dancing.
Yeah, man, here, so Jody can tap dance.
Everything you hear.
No, everything, man, Talis. Jody talented enough. Talis, we love Talis.
Talis from St. Elizabeth, same as Adrian. But what is happening in St. Bess?
I don't know. Them love the bridge, but we don't know if them love that song, yeah.
Sorry. Thanks for trying, Talis. Have a good day.
Hey.
My God, it has been a fun feature.
Yeah.
And we try to make it happen just like that, by the way. No harm meant in what we do, but you need to come better if you're going to win this huge gift package. For those who are watching us via our streaming portal, you'll see it on the screens. It is a huge gift package, courtesy of Massey Distribution. And we're being told that we can take one more entry.
Uh-oh.
You know the artists that I have lined up to play after this?
Who that?
DJ Adler, tell them I'm on.
Who?
Now, D Brown, where I go?
D Brown.
D Brown.
Oh.
Yeah, man. And put on the selector voice.
Oh.
D Brown.
Big people segment of our.
Yeah, man, we're going to drop some of them too now. See that?
See that?
Yeah, all right, Romo. So you're ready. Let's get the final call up in here. Good morning. Welcome to the Secret Sound game. Hello.
Morning.
Good morning.
I think it's a Kete drum.
Kete drum. That is a good guess. Who's calling?
This is John.
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 John is a senior man. Where are you calling from, John?
NY.
Where?
NY. As in New York.
New York. Okay.
Okay.
Must can find somebody to get a gift basket.
Simple one, Chi.
Must be cold up there too. All right.
Yeah, all right.
The man is calling from all the way in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
He must be confident about his answer to take up his phone and dial us.
So far.
Yeah. So right now, John, we have never had a winner from New York.
True that.
So you ready for the verdict?
Yeah, man. What do you mean?
Oh yeah, man.
I don't know if New York ever heard that sound yet, you know.
Thanks for trying, John. It didn't work this morning, but try again, please. That's all the time that we've been allotted for the Secret Sound game. So it was last week that we learned that Jamaica's star athlete Usain Bolt was missing millions of dollars from his account at an investment firm, Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL. Then on Thursday, SSL issued a statement saying that it had become aware of fraudulent activity by a former employee of the company. Now, as the story has developed, a source said that SSL was aware of the fraud since August of last year. However, the employee suspected of involvement was still employed to the company up to last Wednesday. That was the same day that Usain Bolt's team met with SSL representatives after requesting a meeting from last December following the Olympian's yearly review of his financial portfolio, at which point he had noticed the discrepancy. What we have so far is that Bolt, it is said, opened the account in 2012 and reportedly never made a withdrawal, and it is believed that he might have had just under $10 million invested. However, according to sources, that balance was at somewhere in the region of $2,000 remaining in the account when this was discovered. We are joined this morning by Mr. David Geddes,
who is the Director of Stakeholder Engagements, Communication and Internal Relations of the Financial Services Commission.
And we say good morning to my good friend David. How are you, my brother?
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Richie B. Shelz. Pleasure to be on bridge, and despite the circumstances, but
yes,
we will certainly here to shed as much light as we can as possible.
I know that you will do just that. Thank you so very much. A lot of people need to maybe understand the mandate of the FSC. What does the FSC do as it relates to our financial sector?
Thanks. Okay, the Financial Services Commission was established to monitor and supervise, to regulate the non-deposit taking financial sector. And when we refer to the non-deposit taking financial sector, we're speaking about the securities industry, dealers, etc., wealth advisors. We're speaking about the insurance companies and their representatives, and we're speaking about private pensions. Mm-hmm. That is the non-deposit taking financial sector, and the FSC is responsible for that. That sector is worth about $2 trillion.
Wow. Yeah. Jamaican dollars.
Yes.
Mm-hmm,
yes.
Mm-hmm. How long since you've been in existence?
Me or FSC?
The FSC. the FSC.
Okay, the FSC has been in existence for a little over 20 years.
Okay. So what are some of the matters that are out there in the space that would come to your attention? Things like fraud within the sector, I suspect.
Well, it depends on the nature of the fraud, because the fraud is an operational matter. Mm-hmm. I mean, we would have to be made aware of it. Yes. And, we would take a review of, whether there were sufficient controls in place, for the company, or whether there's some concern that would involve us. And it also depends on the nature mm-hmm. of the fraud. Okay. But generally speaking, what we want to make sure is that there are best practice guidelines that are adhered to. the regulations are there too. For instance, if how a client authorizes transactions. These are important things. I mean, you can't just use a client's money without their permission, or you ought not to. So there are different regulations and guidelines that exist. How you go to the market, with the initial public offering. We said there's a whole parameter of guidelines and regulations that govern how the sector operates. And that is designed to make sure that the sector is safe from undue influence by way of insider trading, that the sector is also safe from money laundering, and that clients have a reasonable opportunity to make a return on their investment.
David, was the SSL on the radar of the FSC before last week, per se?
You're putting me in a pretty precarious position. The FSC does not normally comment on its licensees and registrants. I am aware of reports out there that are speaking to what FSC knew when they knew it, etc. I can't comment on that because those reports that have been leaked are not official responses from the FSC.
Yes.
So, it's a little bit of a muddy water to navigate.
Right.
But let me say that whenever there's a breach, the FSC intensifies its scrutiny of the operations of that licensee. And based on how we operate and the reports we request and the reports we review and the on-site examinations that we conduct on all licensees and registrants, if something is untoward, we are going to pick up. I mean, I'm not talking now necessarily about fraud, but if they are not following the regulations and the guidelines, it will be picked up usually by our auditors and examiners.
All right. I ask these questions, obviously, David, because we know that there are many persons who are interested in knowing, and we know that you're also able to navigate and say as much as you can on these matters. But as it is now, the matter of the SSL is definitely out there in the public space. We understand that you now have oversight of the operation at the FSC. What does that really mean? Of the SSL,
there are
yes.
two things that have happened. One is that initially we announced that there was going to be enhanced supervision for SSL, and that enhanced supervision initially, one of the critical points of it was that all the transactions that involve acquiring assets, disposing of assets, taking in money from clients, paying out money to clients, would now require the approval of the FSC. So, under normal circumstances, that is not something that would require the approval of the FSC. That's their internal operations. I'm a client, and Richie B goes in and he says, well, he wants to draw out 50 million out of his 100 million, and that they deal with that internally. Under this enhanced supervision, we would want to see that, yes, it was Richie B that requested the 50 million. The authorization is, all the I's dotted, all the T's crossed, because there has been a breach in the protocol. So therefore, we are going to approve all of the transactions that will take place. Additionally, we have also appointed a special auditor to help us in this enhanced supervision and also to help us in our ongoing investigations into the operations of SSL.
Okay. Now, Mr. Geddes, greetings once again. Shelz here. Now,
Yes.
many persons, Mr. Geddes, myself included, right now we're kind of nervous. You understand me? Especially when it comes to, investing and even trusting, financial institutions. You have any advice for persons like myself who, we're kind of hesitant right now?
Okay, and that's to be understood, And I I'm going to say that person should always be cautious when investing, Anytime that you're going to take up your hard-earned money and you're going to seek to make a return on it by way of an investment, one, you must make sure that the entity is licensed, registered by the FSC. You must make sure that the person that is selling you a product or giving you financial advice is registered by the FSC. You must make sure that the product itself that they are encouraging you to purchase, invest in, is registered by the FSC. So you see all the different layers you go through now. And then you must monitor your statements, and you must make sure that, the entity is giving you the statements that are required and following your instructions clearly. Persons must do due diligence. If I'm going to say invest in Richie B Enterprises, I want to know whether Richie B Enterprises has insurance against fraud, has insurance against different things. I also want to look at how they operate and see whether it is aligned with what I want for my investing dollar. So we all have a responsibility to do due diligence before investing. Very, very important. But as on a whole, I would say to you that Jamaica's financial sector is one of the safest financial sectors in the world. It's governed by very robust regulations, guidelines, an astute regulator, and there are activities and operations that take place to ensure that the playing field is level. Persons are not using inside information to have an advantage in the investing world over somebody else, that proper guidelines are adhered to when it comes to, launching, say, an initial public offering and giving, selling, promoting products to the financial consumer. So I would not be taking out my money to put it under the mattress. I believe that, the way to create wealth is to allow your money to earn more money for you. And, it makes sense. All investments come at a risk. But, you try your best to minimize those risks, and you make sure that you invest only in approved entities with products that have been approved by the FSC.
Let's look at an example like somebody coming out with a product, water or some other product on the market. I think very often they have to seek approval from, say, the Bureau of Standards, David. But and usually I think that is also put on the labels and so on. When it comes to financial institutions that are approved by the FSC, is there any such notation or indication, or where can persons find that kind of information that would say to them, yes, this one is an approved institution, I'll do business with them? Is it readily available?
Two things. One, the FSC website lists all our registrants and licensees, and that's updated regularly. So, you can know whether, this entity is registered by the FSC. The wealth advisors and financial advisors, etc., insurance agents, all of these persons have to be, let me use the word, approved by the FSC. What happens is they're registered by the FSC after a fit and proper assessment is done. We check, to make sure that they don't have a criminal record involved with, fraud or any such activity, anything of questionable character. We do background checks on them. And this is not just for the frontline persons. These would be for the owners and certain critical personnel in the entity. So there are checks and balances done. But again, sometimes, a person looks quite innocent and looks quite trustworthy before the money starts to pass in front of their eyes, and they start to envisage a yacht or a private plane or whatever. So that can be an unfortunate situation. But but there are checks and balances that are done before persons get into the industry, start operating, start taking your money, start giving you advice as to how to invest your money.
We note a number of instances. There are several out there right now with different institutions having similar issues with fraud. Very often they are picked up, one would say, on the back end. Do you think the time has come for us to look at changing how we operate, so that these instances can be detected much earlier? Is the FSC even looking at some of these things?
Well, there are best practices, and this will evolve. I mean, it's not static. So, in other words, if your regulation may say 2 people have to concur that the client said sell this today or sell it at X price, whatever. But I'm not going to say that you can't eliminate fraud. But when there's collusion, it makes it a little more difficult. For one person to do something, their scope is limited. But if you are doing something across, widespread, it usually requires some assistance of, somebody else. And that is what makes it difficult. But there are best practices, and the fact is that each institution must undertake preventative measures. They must, have proper training. They must weed out persons who don't adhere to regulation, because sometimes, sometimes you have to have a zero tolerance, because it's like when governments say that there was zero tolerance to certain things, and because the little things add up to major things. You allow people to drive on the wrong side of the road and overtake whenever they want to go, and then that's just, if somebody say, well, boy, that's just a traffic offense, but then eventually they kill somebody or they get into an argument with somebody and murder. There are a whole lot of different things that can evolve. So sometimes you need to just nip things in the bud. So it's going to evolve, and institutions are going to have a tightening of their operations, and they are going to look at how best they can prevent any occurrence of fraud. I fully expect that, you know.
Just 2 more questions for you, David. I know we've been at it for a little bit. Persons who are affected, meaning clients who have been defrauded, the Bridge Nation would love to know what recourse they have and how easy or difficult it might be for them to recover their lost funds. Okay,
that's a very challenging but very interesting question. The fact is that until an investigation is completed, and let me tell you, right, last night I was speaking to someone and he was saying, but this is the entity must be responsible, and that's the final thing. But there are other things to take into account. If John Brown steals $1 billion from, Richie B Enterprises, then, and you can recover the money from John Brown, then, you have a very good chance of everybody getting their money back. If also the entity has insurance, then you have another good thing, depending on the level of reserves that the company has to meet, some of these commitments. So there are several things that you would need to know beforehand before you could pronounce how easy it will be for persons who have been defrauded to get back their money. Mm-hmm. Those are things that, it requires further investigation. Mm-hmm. And because, again, as I said, you may be able to recover a significant, be able to recover a significant portion of from somebody who has engaged in fraud. They might have bought 10 houses. You can probably get the houses, forfeit the houses, and sell them. And, move on from there. There are different remedies available, but that's a holistic thing that you have to look at the end of the investigation. What I will emphasize is that all transactions currently need the approval from SSL, need the approval of FSC, money in, money out, acquiring of assets, disposal of assets, all of that will require the approval of the FSC.
From here on, at least for now. One other one I promised I'd have asked on behalf of a listener. Are you able, based on your mandate, to revoke the license of any financial institution that is not adhering to the guidelines?
Most definitely. The license can be suspended, the license can be revoked, but there's a process. And in that process, you also have to allow the entity to what we call an opportunity to be heard. So we may recommend that a license be suspended or be revoked. Generally speaking, now we're just generally speaking. And let's say our board of commissioners agree that yes, suspend the license. That entity has the opportunity to appeal to a standing tribunal that we have, and that tribunal will hear even the commissioners will hear before suspending the license. Both sides of the story.
Yes.
But with the appeal now, you have that tribunal independent of the FSC, and they listen to it and decide whether the decision was correct to suspend or revoke. But yes, the FSC does have that power as the regulator in the industry.
Okay. David, I want to thank you. In closing, as you go, this is not really a question, just to highlight that the Gleaner of a few minutes ago is having a headline saying that Stocks and Securities Limited was flagged in 2017 by staff of the Financial Services Commission for what is quoted as a culture of non-compliance and mismanagement of clients' funds. That is just a part of what is being published by the Gleaner of a few moments ago. But I want to thank you, David, for all the information that you shared. And we're in some very challenging times. Yeah. You did say that our financial sector is still on sound footing, but there are many concerns out there. And we know that the FSC will no doubt rise to the occasion. I want to thank you again and have a good day.
Thank you very much, Richie B. Thank you, Shelz. Thank you to the listeners.
Have a good one. David Geddes, ladies and gentlemen.
It's time for Fresh Face Tuesday, Bridge Nation, and today you're all going. We have a guest, bad artist. You understand what I'm saying? OuttaVawda. We just like the name already. You understand? It just means a trouble there. But let me explain what going on. His artistry is best heard when he puts lyrics to music, delivering songs that put a subject matter at hand in order. So it's not like him get trouble. Him just him provoke thought with his music. You understand what I'm saying? What's happening? He was born in Spanish Town, Jamaica, and his music, as we said, challenges social norms and encourages listeners to think widely about going along with the status quo. OuttaVawda currently lives in Toronto, Canada. His first professional recording was released in 2006. It was titled Bird Flu, featuring Samp King. He has released 4 mixtapes as OuttaVawda Productions and 2 singles, Alpha, Omega, and Shooting Stars, which are produced by Young Beats International out of Japan. And he's here to talk to us about his musical journey and his latest projects. Well, go on, OuttaVawda. Greetings.
Greetings. Big up the Up and Go show.
Yeah, man.
Big up Richie B.
Yeah, man.
Yes, King. Bless
DJ
up.
Adley, and big up yourself, Shelz.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure, man. Our pleasure. Now, I don't know if I did your name justice in the intro, but it's best it fall from you. Best it come from you. What's the meaning behind the name OuttaVawda?
Okay, so first I started with one dance. I used to dance, right?
Yeah.
I had a song called Bird Flu.
Oh.
Over a period of time, I wanted to transition myself and rebranding myself, right? So I started to go by the name Ayada, which means high order, right? So then also as a youth growing up, we had I used to be bad, as a kid, like, so everybody used to be like, oh, it's an OuttaVawda, right?
Yeah.
So as I grew up, there used to be some sayings like mind your own business, like grandma, so I had to like literally mind my own business, right? So whatever I sold, right, like I'd save, right? So OuttaVawda now meant I had it meaning out of the ordinary, right? So everything went from high order to now where the world is OuttaVawda, right? So I said if I know Selassie order, me OuttaVawda. Yeah.
So I love that. So we know what OuttaVawda mean naturally here in Jamaica.
Yes.
So you admit that, growing up, you get a little trouble, but you found a way to turn the energy towards and tackle
positivity.
Yeah, the Bible also say you got to pick a name that, nobody would want to use, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I chose that name.
Respect. Yeah. So surely I go draw a crowd, trust me.
I don't find anything out of all about that, actually.
It works. I like it. So the musical journey, artists. Where did it all begin? Was it an easy genesis, an easy beginning for you? Any fights? Family was supportive. What was it like?
Okay, it started like when I was about 15 years old.
Yeah.
I was in Canada, and I have a cousin named Kirk Diamond. He's actually a Juno winner in Canada.
Respect.
Yeah, me and Kirk started off, and we used to have sleepovers, right? So me and Kirk used to be up until 3 in the morning, like freestyling, My favorite, one of the artists the rapper I was listening to was like Lil Wayne, so I had a Canon freestyle. I totally forgot it, and I seen Kirk, and he reminded me about it. Eventually, I was dancing. So I was in Rihanna's first video, Pon the Replay, right? I was doing some other stuff in Canada, background extras in movies, right? A documentary called Guns, right? On CBC. It was aired out here as well. Over the period of time, I decided I didn't want to be a backup dancer, right? So I wrote the song Bird Flu, and I built the dance at the pandemic. At that time, I was one of the first to go viral in Canada, right? So I had MSN at the time. I basically created a link and just started sending the link around. But the dance, it didn't go viral first in Canada, it went in America.
Right.
And then everybody seen it popping in America, and then they decide, okay, we're going to push it.
Wow.
So I wrote the song, right? I didn't have the money. I wanted Ding Dong or Elephant Man to do the song, but I didn't have the funds, right? So somebody introduced me to an artist named Sample King, and he took me to one of the most renowned producers named Sonny Diamond. And then after that, we went to a guy named Sheldon, R.I.P. Sheldon. He passed away. He was working with Busta Rhymes and so forth, right? Then the song was on Hype TV in Jamaica and Much Music. But I was young. I didn't understand the business, right? So after that, I had to study it. And then I realized 95% business, 5% artistry. Yeah, so that's how I got to
Respect.
Yeah, all right. It's an interesting journey you've had so far, but you've had some successes.
Yes.
And now you're coming into your own. I understand one of your more recent releases is a song entitled "Joyful Noise."
Yeah. Yes.
What message are you relaying in that track?
That song it's like a bit of revelation. That I was seeing some stuff that not a lot of people were seeing, like the Spirit was showing me some stuff. In 2020, I realized the 2019 was like the return of Christ to an right? And so it was about 2011, I was in a program called Next Step, and they told me by 2020 all learning was going to be online. Right, so I had myself in self-confinement, and then 2019 came and it was all about self-confinement. So I was like, self-confinement, I work well in silence, I'm business-minded, I'm clocking good timing, I'm like a ruler, straight alignment, and hallelujah, thank Jah for the guidance, me study life like a school assignment, and OuttaVawda bright, and man enlightened, so put on the violence, you know what I mean? So it's to encourage the youths that, sometimes you can't really wait on people. You got to use your time wisely, within your own means,
Yeah. You are a Rastafarian, I suspect.
I'm a Maroon.
Maroon.
Yeah, I'm a Maroon. Maroon. I hail Rasta.
Oh, you hail Rasta. All right. Because I was about to ask you whether or not the precepts of Rastafari are born out in a lot of the music that you're putting out right now.
Yes, and bit of Christianity
as well,
right? Muslim as well. Just everything combined.
Full righteous liberty.
Yeah, just one. I don't want to separate anything because when you look, it's all brothers, right? They're both brothers.
Yeah, and there are a lot of similarities as well. All right, before we play the song that you gave us, where can persons actually find you and check out some more of what OuttaVawda is actually up to?
You could check me out on, OuttaVawda on all streaming platforms. That is Instagram, Spotify, iTunes, Facebook. So that is OuttaVawda.
All right. Great meeting you, brethren.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. Introduce your song "Joyful Noise" on the radio for us right now, OuttaVawda.
Confinement.
Oh, that's the one you have. Self-confinement. All right. Yeah, that's the song you're going to introduce.
Yeah. So everybody, this is my new single, Self-Confinement. It's on the Joyful Noise rhythm. There's also Capleton on the rhythm. There's Luciano on the rhythm. There's Tony Curtis on the rhythm. Right, there's Lenny Hammond on the rhythm. There's a few artists, Lindo P, and myself. So you guys take it in and full joy.
Thank you, OuttaVawda. Enough respects every time.